It is kind of fascinating how Mezcal established itself as one of the trendiest spirits over the past few years. I can tell that because more and more people show up at our bar and ask for what kind of mezcals do we have or what types of cocktails with mezcal can we make. That is why today I will show you 5 essential classic cocktails with mezcal that everyone should try, even if you might not like mezcal. Also, if you stick until the end, I will show you one of our signature cocktails that we serve at our bar. Let's go! Let's start with something easy, a Mezcal Paloma, a drink that we are going to build straight into a highball glass, no shaking, no stirring, super easy to make, but yet so delicious and complex. First, let's make a salt rim, and in this case, instead of plain salt, I'm going to use a tajin or tajin, that is a Mexican spice mixture with chili, salt and dried limes. So it's not only going to give saltiness to the drink, but also a light spicy kick and sourness, and it will also make it visually appealing. Just cut a lime wedge, which then you can use to wet the outside of the glass. And now just dip it in our spice mixture. So let's add 2 ounces or 60 mils of our delicious mezcal, 15 mils or half an ounce of freshly squeezed lime juice. We've also previously made a similar cocktail to this one with a spicy kick to it. It's called the Spicy Paloma, and instead of mezcal, we're using a jalapeno infused tequila. If you haven't seen that already, you can check it out in the description down below. Let's add ice to the very top of the glass, and finally top it off with some grapefruit lemonade. When using fillers in drinks like tonic water, soda water, or in this case grapefruit lemonade, what you want to do is to avoid the ice cubes, because in that way you're going to preserve more of those bubbles. Otherwise your drink might end up flat after a couple of minutes, and yeah, I just think that those bubbles add a nice feeling to the drink. And before stirring, we're going to add a pinch of salt, just to add nice saltiness to our cocktail. And now just give it a slight stir, just like this, and garnish with the lime wedge that we used earlier. There you have it, the Mezcal Paloma. Cocktail number 2 is the classic Margarita, but instead of tequila, we're going to use mezcal that is going to give it a nice smoky kick. Let's start by doing the salt rim, and as it is a classic Margarita or a classic Mezcalita, that's how I like to call it, although someone told me that sounds ridiculous. What do you think? Does it sound ridiculous? Because I like it, Mezcalita. So again, I'm going to use a lime to basically wet the outside of the glass, and now dip it in this beautiful looking black Hawaiian salt. It's the one that I used in the classic Margarita video as well. And voila! Now that we have our garnish prepared, let's start building the ingredients in a cocktail shaker, starting with 60 mils of mezcal. Next ingredient, 30 mils of freshly squeezed lime juice. So basically I'm using the classic daisy ratio, which is 2 parts of a spirit, 1 part of the sour agent, in this case lime, and 1 part of liqueur. And in this case, that's orange curacao from the cognac house of Pierre Ferrand. So the orange curacao in this case is not only the sweetener, but as well as the modifier in this cocktail. That's a 3-ingredient drink, so it's pretty much, we have everything in the shaker. Now time to add plenty of ice. Shake hard for around 15 seconds. And double strain into your coupette or rocks glass. That's totally up to you. You can serve it on ice, you can serve it straight up. Since it's classic, I like to serve it in a coupette. And now you can use the lime wedge that we had before. to garnish the side of the glass. So with the wedge, the guest can either remove the salt rim by twisting the lime around the glass, or in case he likes it more sour, he can basically squeeze it and then add more of that juice. And there you have it, the Mezcal Margarita. The third cocktail that I would like to present you is the Mezcal Sour. The difference between the sour and the margarita is basically the sweetener. So in this case, we're using agave syrup instead of an orange liqueur that is going to match really well with agave distillates like mezcal or tequila. Another difference is that we add egg white. This is totally optional, but I strongly suggest that you add the egg white because it will not only add this frothiness to the cocktail, but it will also kind of round all the edges of this drink and make it more pleasant, especially for people who think they don't like mezcal. Let's start by adding egg white into our cocktail shaker. I like to start with the egg white because sometimes it might happen that the egg yolk drops in as well and ruin the whole cocktail. So in case this happens now, I can still chuck it and start over again without losing a whole cocktail. Now we have our egg white inside, we're safe, we're good to go. And by adding 60 mils of mezcal, 50, 10 more, tuck, 60. Next is going to be 30 mils of our pre-squeezed fresh lime juice. And now, the one I told you before about the agave syrup. And we're gonna add 15 mils. It's very thick, as you can see, so it's quite sweet. And I think that 15 mils or half an ounce is enough. But in case you like it sweeter, feel free to add more. I think that this is quite balanced for most people. But yeah, if you like it sweeter or less sweet, adjust the sweetness of the drink. And now, because we have egg white in our cocktail, we're going to do a so-called dry shake, and that is shaking without ice. So now that we've mixed all the ingredients or helped mixing all the ingredients, we can add plenty of ice and shake for about 15 seconds. Take a strainer and a fine strainer, and let's serve this on the rocks. Add some more ice, and now strain it, baby. I also like to garnish this drink with an orange zest. You know, in the classic margarita, you have the orange liqueur. It matches really well with the spirit. It adds another layer of aroma. And in this case, we don't have the orange liqueur, and that is why I'm going to use an orange zest to spray on top to give this nice orangey, citrusy aroma on top. You can basically release the oils by squeezing the zest like this. Some people like to rim the glass around, and then you can either place it in the drink. I like to place it on top, so the one who gets the drink can decide by himself if he wants more of that orange flavor or less. He can remove it. And you can also add another layer of aroma by adding a couple of drops of Angostura bitters on top of the foam. This is optional as well. Not everybody likes it this way, but I think it makes it more interesting. You know, it gives nice cinnamony, allspice aroma to the drink. It smells nice, so why not do it? It even looks pretty cool. And this is how I make a Mezcal Sour. Cheers. The fourth cocktail, as you can guess from this lineup, is the Negroni. But instead of gin, we're using mezcal. To make this drink, we're gonna build the ingredients straight into the glass. There are many people who prefer to use a stirring glass to make the cocktail first. That might result in a slightly better drink, but come on, you had a hard day, you just came home, you want a drink, what, you want to first stir and do and that? Just build it in there, sit down and have a nice break, you know? Normally, the Negroni has equal parts, 30 gin, 30 Campari, and 30 of Italian sweet vermouth. But this is a Mezcaloni, so I like it a bit more smokier, a bit more dirty if you want to say so. So I'll add 40 mils of Mezcal, 25 of the Campari, and 25 from the vermouth. So basically going up slightly with the Mezcal and going slightly down with the Campari and the vermouth. Let's start with 40 mils of our Mezcal, 25 of Campari. You can try equal parts, you can try this ratio, see what works better for you, see what works better with the Mezcal that you're using, because Mezcal can be very diverse in smokiness, aroma and flavor profile. And 25 mils of Punte Mess. Now we have all three ingredients in our glass, in our rocks glass, so it's time to add some ice. And let's stir it for about 30 seconds to give it some dilution, to chill the ingredients, to mix everything. And now this orange is going to be devastated once again after using it for the Mezcal Sour. When using pillars, be careful with those things, they're very sharp. I don't like this test, let's use one more. They're very sharp, so you can cut yourself in a second. So be extremely careful with this. Sometimes it's even better to use a knife. Let's spray the oils. Oh, I can see them. And place that orange zest inside there. And there you have a Mezcal Negroni, aka Mezcaloni. Salute! The fifth cocktail is actually not a classic, but a so-called modern classic. It is also an old-fashioned that carries the name of the state from which our mezcal comes from. It's an Oaxaca old-fashioned. The cocktail itself has been created in the Death and Co bar in 2007. What's a bit different about this drink than the other that we just made is that it actually combines tequila and mezcal, and it's more tequila than mezcal. So we're gonna build the drink straight into an old-fashioned glass. Again, as the Negroni, you can build it in a mixing glass first, stir it, and then pour it into an old-fashioned glass. But I like things easy today, so I'll just build all the drinks, all the ingredients here, and do my drink. Let's start with adding 2 or 3 dashes of Angostura bitters, then a spoon of agave syrup. If you prefer it sweeter, you can adjust the sweetness by adding more syrup. 1.5 ounces of reposado tequila, that is a slightly aged tequila. It's gonna match perfectly with the agave syrup, with the mezcal. After all 3 ingredients are made out of the agave plant, so they're as if they're made for each other. 1/2 ounce of mezcal, that is gonna add a bit of smoke, a bit of complexity to this old-fashioned, but without overpowering the other components in this drink. And that's pretty much it. Then we have all of the ingredients inside. Now time to add some ice and stir it. Stir it for around 30 seconds to mix everything, to give some dilution and to chill the ingredients inside. And then express the oils and place inside as a garnish. And that is how you make an Oaxaca old-fashioned. Cheers! Time has come for the promised 6th bonus signature cocktail that I created for a Cinco de Mayo event at our bar, and the drink has been a huge success, so that people still come and ask for this cocktail. The name of the drink is Green Beast. So let's start by adding 4 mint leaves in our cocktail shaker. I'm adding 4 just because this mint is very fresh and very aromatic. Also the leaves are fairly big, so I would say something between 4 and 8 mint leaves. And it's important that first you add the leaves and then you basically add 3 slices of cucumber, which should be around this thick. So first the mint and then the cucumber, because the cucumber is basically going to act as a cushion and protect the mint leaves from being teared apart. So yeah, just muddle the cucumber on top of the mint until you basically have created a kind of a puree out of the cucumber. Now that we have muddled our fresh stuff, it's time for the star of the show, mezcal. And we're gonna add once again 60 mils, which is pretty much also the end of this bottle. This is how we finish a bottle of mezcal in one episode. And the last 10 mils inside. Squeeze it, squeeze the last drop. Tack. Last drop of agave deliciousness. Then we do 30 mils of our fresh lime. The sweetener in this drink, it's also going to give us a spicy kick because this is a Thai chili syrup. It is one of the syrups in our special with 3 homemade syrups. You can make it easily at home. Just check out the video, the link will be into the description. Before we add ice to our shaker, let's first make a nice spicy salty rim that is going to match the cocktail pretty well. Again, using the Mexican mixture of tajin. And there you have a perfect tajin spice rim. Now add some ice into your tumbler and more ice into the shaker. And now shake hard for about 15 seconds. Let's go. Here, a fine strain, it's a must, otherwise you're gonna have some green pieces of mint and cucumber that is going to result in a messy drink. Now you can add a cucumber slice as a garnish into the glass, zack, and the most beautiful mint sprig that you can find, which I'm gonna slap, 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 just to release the essential oils into the air, and then use it as a beautiful and aromatic garnish. And that's how you make a green beast. Cheers! As you can see, mezcal can be used in so many different types of cocktails. Actually, I wanted to make 10 essential mezcal cocktails, but I decided to split that video into 2 parts. So if you don't want to miss out part 2, then make sure to subscribe and get notified about it. Also, if you have some ideas for a cocktail that you would like to see, let me know in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one. Peace!